Their beady red eyes are focused upon your back. And though you can't see their back at the present, you will notice on the miniature that there are fans, exhaust fans on the backs of these creatures, which are spinning and making a low whirring noise as each of them lands in the room below. And I do stress land, for each one of these mechanized creatures lands from above as what could be described as some sort of personal retro rocket sounds from the base of each of their feet, and a good deal of stone dust is kicked up as it carries them down safely. They each click off in unison and begin making odd, strangled, screaming wire noises. The shriek of machinery. He got up, they entered the chamber. That is as much as they do this turn. Your little friend is smiling. Master Pete, you are next. What are you going to do?
We're hitting him again.
Very well. You hold your hand out at almost point blank range.
49.
49 will hit him. And he staggers back even more hurt. This time he actually spits up a glob of that blue goo when he is hit. Good. Oh, that hurt. And with that, we return to Master Mike. And he will succeed. When he sees the blast coming a second time, he actually reaches to one side, picks up a large chunk of crumbled stone, and throws it into the path of the blast. You are both knocked backwards slightly by the exult of dust and stone. With that, we will turn to Rich.
These other robots are not doing anything but standing.
They're getting ready to put you in the corner.
Yeah, that's what I suspected. I suspected. All right, let's see what the Hearthguard can do. I want to attempt to create like an energy blast, radiates 360 degrees, and see if I can knock them all backwards. Is that a thing we can do?
The Hearthguard steps back a bit, takes its staff, raises it into the air, and slams it ember first into the floor. A radiating wave of raw force that is tinged at its farthest points by a low burning green fire exudes out from the Hearthguard. Percentile check.
52.
52! Strikes the earth. That flame does not look like it is picking up strength as it radiates from him. In fact, it looks as though it is weakened quite a bit as it spreads across the floor.
Could I add a point to that?
Yes, you could. At which point, it intensifies, the fire burns more brilliantly, and does successfully manifest this wave of flame. All four here are struck. They have to roll their own to endure. Metahuman ability neutralized. All glory to Trask. At which point, he is struck as well. He falls back a bit against the wall. He looks more hurt than they are. In fact, they don't look like they were phased in the slightest. With that, we will turn to young Master Maury.
Attempt to do it one more time.
Anything worth doing is worth repeating, by all means.
88.
Ooh, who wants to start cutting off their own arm to give him more bonuses? You raise the staff again, and then detecting what you're doing, you hear the so-called voice of Ultron sound up again behind you.
That took damage.
No, he grabs the back of your staff.
You manifesting a new power takes a point of...
Oh.
He grabs the back of the staff, preventing you from trying a second time. It is at that point that, in unison, each of the machines, who are obviously the adaptoids that were being spoken of earlier, each, one after the other, raise their arms up, and all four of them fire blasts of energy forward. The blasts of energy immediately suppress the pendril flame and destroy the Hearthguardsman, unless anyone would like to stop that.
I'm using it.
At which point, there is one less of you at the table. However, having utilized a pendril ember to do so, the beams slice forward, and as they do, you all realize that the beams in question are identical to the beam power that you now can manifest as one of your abilities. Green burning fire. It starts green, but by the time it reaches you, it has turned a ghastly violet in coloration. The Hearthguard, as though sensing this, holds his staff forward. All 4 of the beams converge upon it, and there's a massive explosion of green fire that radiates down the length of your armorings. That having been done, you as a Hearthguardsman have just regenerated 4 points of damage. Anybody but Mike can make use of those based on
Hurt 3,
communal
you're
need.
hurt 1, so
Yeah,
we both
there we
go
go.
back to full.
You will feel re-energized, and the machines continue to glower forward. One person is not finished, however. You feel our friend the voice touching the back of the armor. You're aware that he's monkeying around back there, and then releases very quickly. I was making a low beeping noise from behind you. With that, we will turn next to young Master Pete.
Where does it sound like the beeping's coming from? Behind my head? Behind my back?
Behind your back. So, beep, beep, beep.
Alright. We're gonna manifest a new ability. And I'm gonna try to burn whatever is on me off of me.
Just that it immediately be consumed with fire. That's
Basically the emerald, the flame.
Very
on my
well.
body to try to get rid of
Very
whatever's
well.
on us.
Hopefully it doesn't explode.
the Hearthguardsman is surrounded with an outline of burning green.
Oh, yeah. 96.
And for a moment, you are very impressive in appearance. This burning cybernetic night. If the Adaptoids are impressed, they give no evidence thereof. With that, we turn next to Mr. Michael is down. We turn to Mr. Rich.
I think actually reaching back and trying to physically remove whatever's been affixed might be a good idea.
Yeah, give me a percentile check.
Thank you. 25.
You reach back. You can feel some box-shaped thing back there wedged into the ermine plating of your pauldrons. When you pull it free, that is enough to cause this grenade to detonate, tearing the Hearthguardsman in half, destroying it.
I'll use my flame.
And then there were two. Instead, you pull this silvery box from behind yourself. The Hearthguardsman has instinctively infused it with pendril fire, preventing it from going off all at once. But you are now holding a very much live and ready grenade in one hand. What would you like to do with the grenade? As a
I'd
free
like to
action?
throw it at these four sons of guns over here.
By all means, you hurl it forward at the Adaptoid line. You may go ahead and give me a percentile check.
20.
You throw it behind them. It explodes, and a wave of force and metal radiates. A good deal of rubble and detritus striking our heroic machine men. They are all knocked prone by the grenade, and they are all rather singed. You can see blue sparks begin to fire from many of the seams on the Adaptoids. However, all four still do seem to be operating and are very quickly recovering from the concussion. Or concussive blast, excuse me. They are machines, they do not get concussions. With that, we will turn to Mr. Mowry.
I'm going to give 2 points back to Mike.
Very good. You're back at the table, sir.
Is that my only action, or
When you sacrifice like that, no. You can do that
okay? So I
anytime you
go to
roll.
3.
You
And
got
then
it.
I'm going to attempt one more of those 360 blasts in hopes that I not damage them and knock him back further or kill him.
Be glad that there is not a critical fail in the Keith's universal. Once again,
Tries.
once again, the voice of Ultron is more than capable of grabbing your staff. No. He grapples it a bit. And with that, we will turn up to the top. Tricky. He takes a few steps back. He, if you could see him, smiles a bit and speaks a very odd line of words. Otomo, body slide by one. There is a flash of blue-white light from behind you. With that, we turn next to young Master Peter.
My bad. I think it's
But you are at a table.
right.
How are things at the table?
It's beautiful. Thank you.
Next, we return to Mr. Mike.
Can I somehow ascertain where he might have gone?
Turning around. Perhaps if you tried to use the flame in some fashion beyond that.
I want to, maybe try to use the flame to illuminate the direction of where he might have disappeared to, or...
Give me a powers check.
71.
71. The Hearthguard holds his staff forward and begins to search the open air with the burning ember. Ozone has been rent. Energy matrix is proving difficult to read. Sadly, it was an unsuccessful check. With that, we will turn next to Master Rich.
And he's gone. Alright, well, we've done a lot with the Pendril Fire, but let's see what he can do with his physical self. Let's go to, say, the far one on the right, any one of these guys. We'll go to the far right one. And attempt to stomp his head in the mush.
Go to a kid.
Oh, 87.
You bring down your boot, and the Adaptoid breaks into a roll to one side, picking himself back up on a knee. You do leave a sizable crack in the masonry, though, so there's that. And with that, we will turn next to young Master Mao.
The gears. Are they connected to anything, or are they just...
As I said before, there are a lot of chains dangling from the shadows above. Those chains are wrapped about their spokes in various places, yes. And after the Adaptoids crashed down into the room, they both sagged down and slammed more heartily against the floor. What are you gonna do, kid?
I'm going to attempt to use the pendulum force to pull up the gear and attempt to drop it on like 2 or 3 of them.
The guardsman holds his staff to one side, drops the silver can to the detritus directly beside himself, and extends his gauntlet. Green fire begins to burn, starting at the gear, running up the channel. Powers check.
70? Anyone want to pump a bunch of points into me?
Yeah, I'll bump one up in
I
there.
can't aim
Oh, I can't.
I can't.
Oh, no, I can't. I can't.
Yeah, you're at 1.
Yeah.
You can do...
That's what I'm saying. Yes, I will do just that.
That
How
one
many?
doesn't do too
you
much.
can do more than 1.
Well,
Yes. You're only damaged. That's the only...
yeah. Okay. All right. Let's go 3.
3 picks up the chain.
Alright.
It doubles up at its midsection and slams down atop the 3 machines.
Thanks.
All 3 of them explode in a shower of metal and sparks. If he misses his brother, he shows no evidence.
Cry for your lost ones.
Right, the voice is no longer with us, but an Adaptoid is.
Fulfilling primary objective. Termination of metahuman life. Glory to Trask.
He extends his hand, and all at once, some unseen force struggling to pick him up. Flames burning around his outside, exactly as you just did when you slammed the gear and the chain down upon his brothers.
Adaptoid.
Well, as much as you do begin to float, the Hearthguard immediately snaps his arms away from himself as though breaking those chains earlier, and lands in a ready crouch before the Adaptoid. With that, we will turn to Master... No, not to Master Pete, but instead to Master Mike. What are you going to do?
Going to shoot him with a beam.
The power that lasts.
82.
Missing our mechanized foeman. Again, a stone column shatters somewhere out in the dark. After that, we would turn to Rich.
What's going to take you a Pete back here?
2.
2. Let's get Pete back.
Thanks, buddy.
You got it, buddy.
Get back in the game. Welcome.
Okay, now.
Now you're real to me
Task
again.
Obviously, anything we do using our Pendril Fire abilities is just going to be mimicked back at us by these Adaptoids. So I think I'm going to stick with more physical means. And, just, maybe I could tear his head off. That'd be a cool thing.
You run forward, gauntlet extended. No more trickery. Grabs his head.
There you go.
And, barring a miracle, your raw strength alone is more than enough to finish the thing off. You tear his head from his shoulders. There's a shower of sparks. He falls inert. The battle is won.